Okay. Hi to all. Hope you are doing well. So today we are going to start with fifth unit, and this will be the first lecture of the fifth unit, in which that can be treated as the introduction to Turing machines. I have discussed about some basic idea about Turing machines during first lecture, where we have discussed the syllabus throughout. Okay, so let us start with this introduction to Turing machine. Then in the next lecture, we will do many numericals, that is many languages, which will be recognized with the help of Turing machines. Okay. So Turing machines are the machines which are uh, what we can say, which are proposed by Alan Turing. Alan Turing has proposed this machine, and on his name, this machine has been named. That is Turing machine rather than Alan Turing machine. It means Turing machine. Okay. So at last here arrived the big daddy of all machines, that is Alan Turing machine. So this is the photograph of Alan Turing. Why we are saying that big daddy of all the machines? Big daddy of machines means the computation power of Turing machine is more than that of NPDA and DPDA and NFA and DFA. So it is having the highest computation power that can be concluded. Okay. So that is why it is known as the big daddy of all the machines. So now we are focusing on this outer circle. This innermost circle is regular languages, which were be able to recognize a raised to power A star, B star like languages. Then we see context free languages, A raised to power n, B raised to power n. And then we have seen, yes, you cannot accept the language A raised to power n, B raised to power n, C raised to power n with the help of one stack PDA. Either that can be NPDA or DPDA. So when AN, BN, CN are not be able to recognized by one stack PDA, that may be either NPDA or DPDA, then we must require a special machine whose computation power must be higher than that of the NPDA and DPDA. One stack I'm talking about. And we have already proved that there is also a category of Turing PDA, that is two stack PDAs, and the computation power of two stack PDA is equivalent to Turing machine. So that is why we have, you must remember that we have built this AN, BN, CN with the help of two stack PDA, and AN, BN, CN, DN with the help of two stack PDAs. So the computation power of Turing machine is more than that of one stack PDA, and the computation power of one stack PDA is more than that of regular languages. Okay. I have taken these slides from internet, and I have added some of my slides and some scanned answers. So no copyright claim at all. So this is the basically two generalized form of the classes of context-free languages. Innermost is the regular language, above that context-free language. Above that, now our focus will be on recursive language, recursive enumerable languages, and non-recursive enumerable languages. I think non-recursive enumerable languages are not in our syllabus. So our focus will be on regular language, context-free language, recursive and recursive enumerable. We will discuss this recursive languages and recursive enumerable languages in detail with the help of notes. What are recursive languages and what are recursive enumerable languages? Right now you can only get an idea that Recursive language and recursive enumerable languages are the language. I am not going into the depth, but at abstract level, we can say that recursive languages and recursive enumerable languages are somewhat accepted by class of Turing machines. Okay. So in depth, we will cover later. What are the machines that recognize the recursive and non-recursive enumerable languages, and what are the basic differences between them? Okay. Thank you. So this recursive regular language, context-free, context-sensitive. Context-sensitive is also pending. Then recursive languages, recursive enumerable and non-recursive enumerable languages. These are the class of languages mentioned in the Chomsky hierarchy of grammar or Chomsky hierarchy of languages. Okay. Recursive enumerable languages are also known as type 0 languages because these are the least restricted language. Then type 1, that is known as context sensitive language. Some restrictions are imposed. Then type 2, we have gone through thoroughly, that is context free language during unit 3. These are more restricted than context sensitive. And finally, regular languages, type 3 languages, as per Chomsky hierarchy of languages or Chomsky hierarchy of grammar, whatever you can say. And these are the most restricted. So restriction increases from type 0 to type 1 and then type 1 to type 2 and type 3. Means most restricted is type 3 and the least restricted is type 0.